A year ago, I started a journey. It began with books and tarot cards, simple personal readings, and quiet explorations. But what I didn't know was that I was about to discover something much deeper, something that reached back to my own roots, my Scandinavian heritage, and the Norse god Loki. For months, I'd been reading, practicing, just dipping my toes into the world of spirituality. Then, I found my way to Norse mythology and felt a bond with Loki. A bond that felt both ancient and familiar. Loki, the god of mischief, change, and transformation. The god of both chaos and balance. I asked Loki to become my deity, and from there, things got interesting. I asked him to send me a sign that he was as willing to work with me as I with him, and I got my answer shortly afterwards in the form of hundreds of grackles sitting in the trees around my home. They were calling out and filling the air with this cacophony of sound, and as I watched, they rose up from the trees and just flew overhead. The sound of their wings flapping was like a storm, and I knew in that moment Loki had answered. There were smaller happenings as well. For instance, while we were still in the initial phases of learning how to work with each other, feeling each other out, I learned that I wasn't approaching it properly and not really giving as much attention as was needed for him to really form a bond with me. One day I came home from work, and at home I have a bookshelf behind me that's on the fifth shelf. I have a bust of Loki, like the one behind me actually right there. And I had a purple dragon, little ceramic dragon on the shelf about 3 inches back. So I walk into the door, and that ceramic dragon is actually under the chair of my desk. Now, that's a 5 foot drop down and then a 4 foot roll to get under my chair. And this is a ceramic dragon. I've dropped ceramic pieces like this before, and they just shatter into a million pieces. So that was kind of telling right there. It was that signs like that told me that this wasn't just a passing encounter. It was the start of something deep and meaningful, and as we learned to work together, our bond only strengthened from there. Since that day, Loki has become a part of my life, not as a force of chaos, but as a guide. We work together and have an understanding of how to keep balance in our relationship. Where others find chaos with Loki, I find comfort, protection, and peace. With his help and the help of mentors, I've begun to explore things like tarot, runes, Norse mythology, and more, discovering new layers of spirituality and self-discovery. And now, I'm ready to share my journey with others. So, what is Threads of the Arcane? Well, this channel is all about learning and exploring the mystical path together. I'll be showing you what I learn as I learn it, starting with the basics and eventually moving into deeper topics. So if you're a beginner, this is going to feel like a safe place to start. And if you're experienced, well, maybe you'll find a fresh perspective. Either way, Threads of the Arcane is about weaving together knowledge, insights, and growth. So join me, Runic Warrior, as I take you on a journey to unravel the mysteries of the arcane. In the coming episodes, I'll be diving into topics like tarot and how to put their insight to use, the meaning of runes and how I use them, and practices like shielding and protection for spiritual work. As I learn and grow, I'll be passing my knowledge on to you. The beauty of this path is that it's ever evolving. If you're intrigued by the mystical, the arcane, or just curious what it's like to walk this path, then please subscribe and join me on my journey. Feel free to comment, share your own experiences, or even ask questions. I'd love to hear from you. Welcome to Threads of the Arcane. Let's start unraveling these mysteries together.